I like that little growl there.
Sound check.
G'day and welcome back to another vocal analysis here at Voice Essentials. Today we, once again, are going to be reviewing the lovely voice of Julianne San Jose. And this is a singer who I really, I really do enjoy listening to. But this is the first time I've had the opportunity, at least I think it's the first time I've had the opportunity to observe her in a real live context. And so that's what we're going to be watching today. This is her singing in the Julia Sings the Divas concert series. And in this particular song, she's covering the amazing Lara Fabian, and she's singing Adagio. There are certain singers in the world who I think we all have good reason to be nervous about covering, and Lara Fabian for women is amongst that group. So this is a challenging piece. This is a big sing. But it's also a challenge from the point of view that Lara is known not just for range, big high notes and all of that, but for tone and timbre. So it's going to be really interesting to listen to Julianne tackle this. So without further ado, let's dive in and have a listen to it and enjoy. Here we go.
I don't know where to find you.
Didn't quite grab that bottom note, but you know what? Even this early on, that tells me this hasn't been doctored. It hasn't been, what we're going to get to hear as we continue is a completely, live vocal that hasn't been touched up. That's always reassuring when we're watching live. Yeah, I find it reassuring. I don't see that even from this point forward, I don't see that as a detriment to the singer or a negative. I see that as a positive, that the singer, is able to give us that completely live, untouched vocal.
I don't know where to find you. I don't know how to reach you. I hear your voice in the wind. I feel you under my skin. Within my heart and my soul, I wait for you.
Just so I don't, get too preoccupied with the acrobatics. Let's acknowledge it, right? Like the strength of this guy to climb like that. Amazing. And it does, in songs like this, it really adds to the performance, the whole spectacle of what's going on stage. And I really do get a sense that Julianne in this moment is sharing the stage with her fellow performer, the gymnast. Let's just quickly backtrack in our thoughts to those low notes, the ones that she missed a couple of times. I want to identify why, because it's one thing, isn't it, for someone like myself to say, oh, didn't quite get the note. It's another thing entirely to recognise why. And then perhaps for those of us who are learning to sing, because this is a learn to sing channel, what can we do to help us in our, approaching low notes? Firstly, let's recognise the context. The context is, I don't know where this is in a performance, but it strikes me it's not the first song. Typically a slower song like this would be further in, at least song 4, 5 or 6. And so low notes get harder the warmer and the more, toned and used the voice becomes. And so that's the context. Equally, and spoiler alert, there's some really high work at the very end, and so the benefit of this song being a little bit later in is that the higher notes can become a little bit more, the voice can be a little bit more ready to go to the higher stuff. So that's the trade-off. But what we're hearing, I think, is a little bit of air support. So we recognise that the voice might be struggling to get down low because it's fully warmed in. But also we can hear that the air support's not quite on point. And I think that's driven partly by she's going for, and I really like this, she's going for that sort of aspirate, breathy tone for the emotive drive of the lyric. And actually, in this particular instance, I mean, would we take perfect note with the emotion? Of course we would. But if I had to trade one off against the other, I'd always want the singer to go for the emotion first with the pitch coming in second, because people are going to connect to the lyric. That's what we want, right? Especially this early on in a piece. And so as you are working on your low notes, think about your air and think about the manner in which you support through to those low notes. Low notes are just as difficult to nail at the extremes of your range as are the high notes at the other extreme end of your range.
All of these nights without you, all of my dreams surround you. I see and I touch your face. I fall into your embrace.
I haven't noticed that in her voice before. There's almost a tendency on certain vowels for the placement to just rock back a little bit of tongue root tension or tongue body getting in the way a little bit, and it just dampens and darkens the color of the tone. It's not creating big issues for her, but it's just something I've not noticed. And I wonder, again, often tongue root tension comes about by virtue of poor breath flow, poor breath management. And I wonder whether, by virtue, again, the context of where this is in the piece, whether there's just a little bit of the tongue wanting to give support to the larynx to help it sort of manage the air, which is where the tongue root comes in. Interesting.
When the time is right, I know you'll be in my arms. I close my eyes and I find a way. No need for me to pray. I've walked so far, I've fought so hard. Nothing more.
We've been talking about her low notes, but I want to acknowledge the strength of that low register work she just had to sing through there. That was impressive. That's really good. It possibly highlights and gives strength to my observations earlier that the lower flow was not quite enough for the low note she had. Now you can hear she's giving more weight to this lower section, this lower melody, and the voice is really sitting there quite well because the larynx is activating a little bit more. The vocal folds are a little bit more, have a little bit more body in their adduction, and so we got a nice low run there. Nice work. Still down there, wow. Sorry. I'm actually quite impressed by the gymnast. I don't want to get too caught up on him because he's not the reason we're doing this, but yeah, I can only imagine if I got tangled up in that piece of fabric. Oh dear, what a mess. I'm sitting here, I'm watching it, and I'm thinking to myself, because I was talking about the emotive value of those lower notes earlier on, and I felt like there was a sense in which she had a connection down in those notes to the lyric. I've lost that somewhere in amongst watching. You know, I'm watching her, and I'm watching her eyes, I'm watching her body, and I don't know what's going on. Leave your comments below. Are you feeling that sort of sense of disconnect as well? You know, we're continuing to hear a fabulous voice, but remembering that fabulous singing is truly empowered when the singer has got a great sense of connection to the lyric. And I wonder whether in this moment, whether she might have, I don't know, lost that sense of connection. Maybe she's concerned with what's coming up with the last bit of the song because it gets very high. And if that's the case, I can tell you I've been there, where my whole and soul thought is about the note that I've got to leap over. But yeah, let's continue and see where she takes us. Oh, I like that little growl there. That was good. I enjoyed that. Oh, that was interesting. I wonder, there we see right at the end. Let me just play that again. That little look, that I think maybe tells us that was quite the feat for her to get through that. Interesting. Tell me, let me know what your interpretation of that final little glance. You could sort of read in her eyes. She's glad that's over. And like I said, right back at the intro, we're covering Lara Fabian here, which is never easy to do. You know, we often talk about the Whitneys and the Celines and the Mariahs. Lara Fabian is like this total package that, yeah, she's in that group of singers that, you know, if I were female, because I don't sing many Lara Fabian songs, except Broken Vow. You know, there's just, yeah, I'm glad she's not on my list of challenges. I can tell you that. I hope you've enjoyed today's live, not live, dearie me, I do that all the time, don't I? Vocal analysis. The lives are on Monday. You can join us then too if you like. I do very much look forward to seeing you in the next vocal analysis video. I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.